What's good, people? It's Aria here, bringing another episode of the Mind of a Mix-Up podcast. We are going into the new year, and a lot of people, myself included, just kind of hope that the new year will be better, but let's be real, the state of the world, the new year is not going to be so new for a while. Right? And it kind of sucks because there's a lot to be said about how we got to where we are, and I would love to talk about that on a future podcast with someone else as well. So that's something that'll be up in the air, but we're not here to dwell on the negative, right? There's a lot of negative to talk about, but we're not going to do that here, right? We're here because it's better to try to push through and be positive. And that's something that I legitimately believe. Part of the reason that Mind Over Mix-Up is a thing, right? Whether there are 6 people involved, 4 people involved, or if it's just me, regardless of where Mind Over Mix-Up ends up going, Mind Over Mix-Up is less about being a group or a team, and more about being a state of mind given form and a platform to speak on, right? We've got some people on board that are transgender. Myself and Mika are a couple of examples of that. And couple of the things that we like to push out as a statement is that regardless of whatever, your voice matters, right? And I think that's important to actually talk about, to mention and put out there, because there are a lot of people that feel like their voices don't matter. The things they do don't matter, and that can be a tough hill to get over. And regardless of whatever your endeavor is, whether you are someone who's trying to push forward in regards to a gaming related endeavor or a life related endeavor, whether you're trying to come to terms with something about yourself that you weren't aware of and you felt like you needed an extra push in a positive direction. I think it's important more than anything else that you accept first your situation and then move forward from there. Because the longer it takes you to come to terms with where you are, the longer it's going to take you to move forward from that position. And I think, that's an important step. But saying all that, I hope everyone can find the will and the way to move forward. New Year's gonna be a bit on the rough side, especially in the beginning, and here's hoping that it's just better. There's a lot that's gone on, especially in the last couple of weeks. So let's just hope and pray that everything will be better first and foremost, right? In generally more positive news, there's a lot of stuff going on in the fighting game front, right? Dungeon Fighter getting a fighting game. I think that's pretty cool. I'm very interested, especially considering it's Arc System Works and 80 working on it, right? Both of those companies have pretty strong track records. Arc System Works is hard pressed when it comes to making bad games. They can make games that are contentious for sure. And you can talk for literal hours about Guilty Gear Iska and just how iffy certain aspects of that game are. But fundamentally speaking, the game isn't inherently bad. definitely issues, and it's not your standard Guilty Gear at all, but it's not bad, and that's something I stand by because I really liked it. I liked it a lot. One of those things where having stronger execution of the idea might have helped a ton. Aiding, responsible for a lot of really cool games. They worked on the Bloody Roar series. They worked on things like the Naruto Gekto Ninja Taisen series, Clash of Ninja being what that is here in the States. They actually helped make a couple Street Fighter games. People don't really know that. Some things they actually worked on and kind of don't get touted for, but they have some very strong records as game developers, game devs, and it pretty much means that Dungeon Fighter is gonna be a solid game. With those two companies working on it, it's almost a done deal that this game's going to be really good. There might be contentious things in it, for sure, but it'll be good. But of course, there are caveats to things, especially in this kind of climate. Will we have good netcode? That's a thing. Will we have good netcode? Because there are a lot of companies that don't really want to push the button, so to speak, and be like, all right, we need rollback. But we do. In this climate, rollback is absolutely a necessity because nobody with sense, I'll say, is going anywhere, right? And having good netcode is gonna be a huge deal breaker for some things. On a related note to that front, Phantom Breaker Omnia. That's something that's supposed to be coming out sometime in early 2021. We don't have a date yet. I really want a date for that because I am a fan of the Phantom Breaker series, for sure. And I think that, it's a series that deserves more love than it gets. People sleep on Phantom Breaker a lot, but there's some really cool things behind the aspects of those games. But they already announced that because of how development had to go with Phantom Breaker Omnia, that they couldn't actually add rollback, right? And that sucks. It's kind of a death knell for some people. They're like, well, even if I wanted to give it a chance, there's no rollback. So if the online sucks, there's no reason for me to try it. And as much as I would like to say, well, that's idiotic, it really isn't, because what are you gonna do in this environment, right? It's unfortunate. I'm still very much looking forward to the game, for sure. You can expect content on it when it drops, provided it drops soon, and everything willing and nothing's happened. I'm definitely going to dig into that game. So that's something else right there. There's just a lot of things on the fighting game front. Really cool. Sephiroth recently dropped in Smash. People have loads of thoughts on Sephiroth, and all in all, very cool character in general. Lots of things that make him very strong. One of those sorts of characters that you definitely need to play carefully, play cautiously, because things that make him strong also kind of work against him in some ways. So you have to kind of know where to place certain attacks, and know how to ledge guard and do all these other things. It gets pretty intricate pretty quickly, right? But there's so much going on with his character, and it's worth noting that if you know how to balance everything, you know how to optimize everything, he's really tough to deal with. He can be very effective in the right hands. So, that just another little bit of news, I guess, because that character is going to give some people nightmares. He is going to give them despair, as he said in the Smash trailer. So that's something to, kind of mull over right there if anyone's been wondering about anything having to do with Sephiroth. That's a thing. There are details that being leaked, thrown around, that Mortal Kombat 11 is getting yet more content with more extra characters. Serena has been mentioned in these potential leaks, and I've heard talk about Serena, Kintaro, and a couple others, and I'm just like, if this happens, I wouldn't necessarily be against it, but at the same time, like, wait, where are some people getting that information, right? Like, where are these leaks coming from? How many people are being ejected from Windows at NetherRealm because of said leaks? Because you have to imagine that people just wouldn't want to let this kind of information just fly freely, right? It's just kind of funny to consider in some ways, but again, interesting. And I'm curious, as someone who is into MK11, where that's going to go, and if that has any legs to stand on. So we'll see, right? Outside of that, just I've been playing a lot of Genshin Impact, and that's something that's taken a lot of my time daily. I've got more combo video stuff in the works. That's going to be a thing. I have some other podcast episodes that I'll be doing with a couple of the other people from Mind Over Mix Up. That's going to be a thing. Just, I guess this is more of a general update and kind of a way to say Happy New Year. Thanks to anyone who has listened, who has been supportive, and hopefully the new year finds you and your loved ones well. Take care of each other, stay safe, stay happy, and stay awesome.